Same by Team China with women's candidates in round number 6 with 50 candidates here between Grandmaster Tan Zhongyi in China faces against battle by Grandmaster in China Zhu Jiner. So what do you think about this one with round number 8 with successful, impressive here with perfect shot here? So what do you think about this one with best games here? So let's study up this play chess here. Okay, with the team of China's here with memberships here. So white pieces against between Grandmaster Tan Zhongyi in China and black pieces against with Grandmaster in China Zhu Jiner. So it means so last round number 1 with women's candidates with FIDE candidates with a score here with same all with 0.5 here because this is a accepted by agree draw here. So today's round number 8, so who was the win would +1 a currency score points here. So in this women's candidates here, so in this part of this video, you have analyzed of the standings after round number 8 with FIDE candidates. So white plays Tan is d4, knight f6 by Zhu, c4, e6 is Indian defense, knight c3, bishop b4 by Zhu because bishop b4 with threatening the knights and pin with check, or maybe with upcoming by next castling kingside here. And Tan Zhongyi is queen c2 defense of knights, castle kingside by Zhu, pawn a3 with Tan with threatening the bishop if you captured or backwards. Accepted with Zhu, bishop captured with knights, queen takes with Tan Zhongyi, and also pawn b6 with Zhu Jiner. By next up, light square bishop b7 with diagonals with pinning the rooks. So this is a light square attacks here because this is a more of this one with positional move. Bishop g5 by Tan with next up threatening the knights and pin with stab against queen. So it is called by this one with openings with Nimso Indian defense, classical Keres defense here. So this is a very Keres here. And also bishop b7 by Zhu Jiner without good precise with bishop b7 with diagonals with light square with pinning the rook. And also pawn e3 with openings with light square with develops by bishop here. And also pawn d6 here together by next planning by pawn c5 or a5 here. So this is a next move here. And also knight e2 by Tan Zhongyi because this is a more of this one with safety against pawns with develops here, or maybe by next of rook d1 here. So rook d1 because this is a with safety against with develops by pawns and queen's defense of pawns here, or maybe by next of next castling queenside here. And also knight bd7 by Zhu, defense of these knights here with pairings here. And also rook d1, why? Because rook d1 by safety against pawn with queens with safety and knight safety the pawns here. So this is a triple against queens, rooks, and knights. So this is a defense by pawns here. And also pawn a5 by Zhu Jiner, queen backwards c2. So I forgot something. So talk about novelty. So let's go back here. So no more recording book lines by rook d1. Queen d3 is a making by creating by this one with all main lines by master opening database by chess.com here. Without rook d1 here, so no more recordings by book lines because novelty by Tan Zhongyi. And also pawn a5, so this is a good precise by GM Zhu Jiner. Queen backwards with Tan. And also queen e7. Why queen e7 by Zhu? Because this is a queen e7 by next of rook a d8 or rook f d8. So this is a which chooses by next move here. And also with knight c3, good precise by interesting by Tan Zhongyi. So why knight c3? Because knight c3 with openings by develops by this one with pawns. So developed by defense by opening by light square bishop here. Pawn h6 by Zhu Jiner, threatening the bishop. So chooses if he captured or backwards. With accepted with backwards with Tan Zhongyi, so it means with that idea decided backwards with bishop. And also rook f d8, good move. Okay. So this is a rook fd8. So this is a more of this one with develops here because chooses by Zhu Jiner. Will it explain, for example, here, in idea, why don't we pawn to g5, threatening the bishop here, and also bishop g3? So it means next of knight e4 because this is a threatening the bishop here. So this is a easy, good explanations, for example, here. So back there, without continues, rook fd8 by Zhu Jiner here, and also f3 by Tan Zhongyi. So this is a good precise because this is a 2 connected pass pawn plus 2 connected pass pawn equals 4 connected. So it is called by, so this is a with crooked by wall. So this is a very crooked. So it is called by this one with 4 connected pass pawn crooked wall here. And also with pawn c5 by Zhu Jiner. So it means, so this is a good precise here. Without plannings here by Zhu Jiner, by next of rook ac8. So this is a more of this one with next move. By ready of this one with capture this pawns here. So this is a be ready here. And also bishop e2. Okay, together by this one with upcoming by with next of playing castling kingside here. So this is a next of castling kingside here. Without explain, for example, here. So why don't we continue? If we capture this pawn, they take c5 and also captured. So this is a examples here. So without bishop e2, together by next castling with Tan Zhongyi here, and also rook ac8. Okay. So this is a be ready by this one by this with Zhu Jiner here. So without rook ac8 with movement by rooks, so it means by ready by captured here. So this is a ready by captured. Castle kingside by Tan. Capture this pawn by ready by Zhu Jiner. So it means without Zhu Jiner here with captured. Takes with captured, so does not like of captured by computer with Tan Zhongyi. So this is a symbolizes bad. So the one's computer is eating the rook captured pawn. So eating rook captured d4. So together by this one, so rook takes d4. So this is a good advantage for whites. Without capture this pawn by Tan Zhongyi here, and also bishop a6, good, interesting by solid move against Grandmaster Zhu Jiner. Why? Because if you rook, so it means 2. So 2 rooks and bishop because the bishop with threatening the pawns. Without threats the pawn, so it means 1 here, 1 bishop here, 2 versus 1 against minors here. And with Tan Zhongyi is queen b3 develops by pawns here. And also d5, good move with ready by capture this pawn. So this is a together by this one with continuations here. So this is a good precise here. And also knight b5 with Tan with shield against with controls. And also knight f8, good move by Zhu Jiner. So it means without what's the plans here by Zhu Jiner here. Without next up this one with maneuvers knight g6 together with threatening the bishop here. Without explain, for example, why don't we continue captured here? If you d takes c4, bishop captured pawns here, and with put together is knight to f8 together with next maneuvers knight g6 with threats the bishop here. Okay, so back there is knight f8 with maneuvers knight g6 together with threats the bishop here. Rook fe1. Okay, with rook pairs against Tan Zhongyi. Knight g6, good move by Zhu Jiner. So with that idea with threatening the bishop here. So this is a tempos attacks here. And also bishop backwards g3 with avoided by Tan Zhongyi. Capture this pawn, bishop captured. And also knight h5 with good precise together with threatening the bishop here. So this is a threats here. And also bishop backwards f2, another bad move, so does not like of this backwards computer with GM Tan. So the best move is bishop d3 here. So this is a more movement by backwards bishop d3 here. So this is a easy, good advantage for whites here. So this is a good precise here. So bishop f2 with Tan Zhongyi, and also knight hf4. So with that next maneuver, so next move against with queen g5 together by threatening by mating net. So this is a threatening by mating nets here. Bishop f1 with defensive pawns, and excelente queen g5 together by next knight h4. So this is a double knights and queens, so this is a doubles here. So it means knight h4 here. So it means because this is a bishop here with defense of this one with pawns here. So it means, so if you knight captured here, so it means knight captured. Okay, so it means, so if you knight captured here, so if you knight captured, bishop captured, wait, bishop captured here, and also queen captured, this is a threatening mating net, so lose against with whites here, against wins, easy wins for blacks here. Without continue, queen g5, bishop e3. Okay, so this is a bishop e3 together with threatening the knights. Bishop captured, so without attacks, with challenge by light square bishop to bishop. So this is a given bad move, so does not like of captured by GM Zhu. So the one's computer, the best move, this one is rook d5 here. So this is a more of this one with best solutions. And next up on a4 defense here. Because why? Because this is a, if you rook here, threatening the knights with threatening the queens here. So it means with movement is pawn a4 with defense of knights here. So this is a easy advantage for blacks here. So this is a very determinations here. Okay, so back there, this one, bishop captured by Zhu, with threatening by challenge by this light square bishop to bishop, in accept by Tan, queen takes captured, with challenge by queen to queen, in accept queen takes, bishop captured, rook to c2. Okay, rook c2 by Zhu Jiner, with rooks, with threatening the pawns with check, and with b2 attacks. So this is a double pawns attacks here. So that it is called by double attacks pawns. So 2 pawns attacks. And also rook d2. So it means cannot let down at Tan Zhongyi without excelente with challenge by rook to rook. In accept, rook takes, bishop captured, rook captured pawn, threatening the bishop. Bishop e3 with Tan attacks the rooks. Rook backwards d6. Okay, rook backwards d6. So this is a movement here. So it means, so good bishops here with pairs with whites and versus by bad knights the blacks. So this is a minor pieces versus maximum pieces here. So this is a maximum. So it means with bishop with threats the knight. So this is a controls. And also with more controls, rook c1 with Tan Zhongyi. So what ideas here? What the plans? Or maybe by next of rook c8 with check. Okay, with check. So this is a check here by next move. Knight d5 by Zhu Jiner with threatening the bishop. Bishop backwards f2 by Tan. Knight ge7 together with 2 controls with develops by knights. A4 with threatening, defense, not threats. So it means defense of knights here. Bishop, sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot something. I'm sorry, I got wrong note. So it means with pawn a4 with defense by bishop here. So it means not knights, I thought bishop here. So it means pawn defense the bishop. And also f6 by Zhu Jiner, rook d1. Okay, with rook d1. Okay, develops by this one with rooks with Tan Zhongyi. King f7. So what ideas here? Or maybe by Zhu is first move, property active, king to g6 and king f5 with together by pawn g5. Okay, pawn g5 is a next idea targets here. h4 by Tan, or maybe by next of pawn to g4. So this is a next move here. And also pawn h5 by Zhu Jiner. So what the plans? Or maybe by pawn to g5. Okay, pawn g5 by ideas by Zhu Jiner here. And also king h2 by proc active by Tan Zhongyi, or next by this one with proc active king g3 or maybe king h3. So this is a proc active move here. And also knight to g6 by Zhu Jiner together with next of knight to f4, or maybe here, or maybe knight f4 is the next maneuver here. And also with pawn g4 together by attacks the pawns, captured, and also knight e5 together by targets by threatening the pawns with check and double the traps the bishop. So this is a very double situations here. So this is a good solid move here. King g3, defense of develops by pawns. King e7 by Zhu Jiner. h5, strong move against Tan Zhongyi. Rook d8. So what's the plans with Zhu? Together with next of rook d8 and rook h8. So this is a next move. And also rook c1. Okay. So rook c1 here with Tan Zhongyi. Rook b8 develops the pawns. King h3, property active, so does not like a bad move with Tan Zhongyi. So this is a with question mark. So the best move this one is bishop to d4. Okay, bishop d4 together with threatening the knights here. So this is a good advantage for whites. Okay, so back to this one is king h3, property active by Tan Zhongyi. Knight f7, so this is a incorrect move by Zhu Jiner. So the correct move this one is rook h8 here. So rook h8 is a good slightly better for black. So this is a good solutions here. So knight f7 by Zhu Jiner, and also rook c6 together with bishop threatening the pawns here. So together with threats the pawns. So this is a incorrect move by Tan Zhongyi. Together with the correct move, the easy move is king to g3 here. So this is a king g3. So this is a goods for whites. Without rook c6 by Tan Zhongyi, and also knight d6 together with threats the bishop, another incorrect move by Zhu Jiner. Without correct move is knight to e5 here. So knight e5 together with threatening the rooks here. So if you go back by rook c1, and without more of these easy solutions is rook h8 together with situations by develops by positional move. So this is a goods for black advantage here. Okay, so back to this one, this knight to d6 against with Zhu with threatening the bishop. Bishop g3, good move against Tan Zhongyi with bishop threatening the knights with check. So this is a check, and rooks with threats the knights here. So together with attacks with targets here, and also e5 together with shield against pawns. It is called by shield pawns here. So pawn shield, and also bishop a6 with movement. So does not like of Tan Zhongyi's computer with bishop a6 because this is a below evaluation bar. So the best move is king to g2. Okay, king g2 is a good advantage for white. So this is a good solutions against the ones of this computer. So bishop a6 by Tan Zhongyi, knight e4 against Zhu Jiner with ideas with threatening the bishop here, with together with targets here with bishop. Bishop d3 together with threatening the knights. So does not like of this bishop d3's computer because this is a below evaluation bar with whites plus highest with blacks with Zhu Jiner. So the best one's computer with idea of bishop backwards e1. So bishop backwards e1. So this is a goods for advantage for whites. So bishop d3 by Tan Zhongyi together with attacks the knights. Knight g5 check. Okay, with that explain, for example, why don't we continue knight captured? If your knight takes captured with bishop, king captured with knight. So this is a good bishop versus bad knights here. So this is a good examples. So knight g5 check, king g2 bad move. So the best move, king h2. Okay, king h2 here. So this is a good solutions here. Once computer here, so this is a good solutions against advantage. King G2 with Tan Zhongyi. Okay, first tips for a puzzle. So what do you think about the successful perfect shot Excelente against GM Zhu Jiner? So I will give you a couple for seconds and continue for that. Start. Thank you so much here and congrats for everyone. Knight E3 with check. Excelente. Perfect by successful by Grandmaster Zhu Jiner. So this is a look at evaluation bar. So this is a highest by minus 1.96. So this is a with highest points here. So together by this one with continuous here. And also King F2 with Tan with threatening the knights. Knight captured with check. Okay, with Zhu Jiner. Good precise. King backwards F1. Okay, King backwards F1 with Tan Zhongyi. Knight to E6. Okay, Knight E6. So with that Knight E6 by Zhu, together with maneuvers by Knight D4 or maybe Knight to D8 together with threatening the rooks and threats the rooks here. So this is a more ideas here. And also Bishop E4. Okay, Bishop E4. Okay, Bishop E4. So this is a good positional moves against situations here. So because Bishop E4, so this is a good positional move. So this is a good interesting by Solipo here. Okay, with that idea, if you Bishop F2, so it means this is a blunder ratios against lowest evaluation bar. Because this is a knights here. So knights with targets here, with threatening the bishop here. Because the Bishop F2, so no more against with Knight D4 here. With that idea with blacks, if you knight captured here, with threats the bishop, if you king captured, together with the continuous of knight d4. So it means with threatening the rooks here. So this is a 4 easy wins for blacks here. So do not bishop f2 because this is a below blunder ratios here. Without focusing against Tan Zhongyi, bishop e4. Okay, bishop e4. So this is a good determinations here. And also f5 with Zhu Jiner. Or maybe without idea, with threatening the bishop, and next the strong against with f4 with threatening the bishop here. So this is a threats here. And bishop backwards against with Tan Zhongyi here. And also king d7 by Zhu with threatening the rooks here. Rook backwards c3 by Tan with develops the bishop. f4, what the perfect by successful by Grandmaster Zhu Jiner with threatening the white bishop. Bishop h4 by Tan Zhongyi. Knight e3 check, king e2. Knight d4 check, another with check with Zhu Jiner. King d3 by Tan. And also knight to g4. Okay, knight g4. So it means, so do not move against with knight to f2 because this is a more targets the bishop here. So need more focusing against solutions with ideas. So rook c1 together with movement by Tan Zhongyi. And also knight to f3 by Zhu. Bishop e1 with Tan Zhongyi. Knight captured with check. Rook captured together with, I don't know what's the threats here. So leave it here by with threats. So rook captured e1. King e6 develops the pawns. Rook g1. Oh, with that idea with double with pawns with knights. So this is a threats the knights and doubles with pawns. So this is a knights and pawns double. So this is a very double. Zhu is knight f6 here. And rook g5. What? Oh, with defense. So it means, so knight f6 by Zhu together with the threatening by this one, the pawn. So this is a threats here. So threatening the pawns here. So it means rook g5 together by this one with pawns. With develops the pawns. Without explain for example here. So why don't, if you rook captured pawn, so it means knight captured pawn with threatening the this one, the rooks here. So this is a more of this one with control. So it means 4 pawns versus 2 pawns. So this is a easy wins for blacks here. Okay, so back there this one is with rook g5 against Tan Zhongyi, rook d8 check with Zhu, king e2. Okay, king e2 against with Tan Zhongyi, rook d4. Okay, rook d4. Okay, rook d4 with Zhu with an idea with tempos attacks the pawns here, with threats the pawns here. And also bishop to a2 check. Okay, bishop a2 check. So with a check here, so this is a check here. So this is a below evaluation bar because so does not like a bishop a2 check against Tan Zhongyi because this is a lacking by this one with below evaluation bar because the highest evaluation bar with blacks with Zhu. So the best move that wants a computer with the highest of this one is bishop to f5 check. So once of this computer with bishop f5 check. So it means if you king to d5 here, if you movement king d5 and also backwards bishop to c2. Okay, so this is a good for advantage here for whites. Bishop a2 with check and excelente king d6, good precise with Zhu Jiner. Rook g6 here. Okay, rook g6. Okay, this is a determination here. So rook g6, or maybe without idea with pawn to h6. So this is a sacrifice here. e4 by Zhu. So what the plans? Or next by this one with f3 with check. Oh, with check. So this is a very strong move against with black here. h6. Oh, with h6 with Tan Zhongyi. So it means if we capture this pawn, so it means rook captured knights with check, one piece down. So it means one piece down against. And f3 check, another number 1 excelente with Grandmaster Zhu Jiner. So this is a with check here. King f2 with Tan, rook d2 check with Zhu, king g1. Okay, king g1. I forgot something. So it means king f2. So this is a below evaluation bar. So does not like of king f2. But that best move this one is king e1. Oh, king e1. So this is a controls. So it means so if you capture this, g takes captured here. And also rook captured knights with check, one piece down here, and also king e5 threatening the rooks. Threatening the rooks here, and also rook e6 check and king f4. Okay, king f4 here. So this is a good slightly better for advantage here with both side here. So this is a easy wins for blacks here. I'm sorry I forgot something with this is a with marking by mistake move here. So king f2 with Tan, rook d2 check, king g1, rook d1 check by Zhu, king f2, rook d2. So it means so avoid repetition draw, captured. Oh, captured. Oh, captured. So because because the captured this one pawn, so it means continues this one piece down here with check. So this is a continuous with check here. And also rook captured here with knights with check, one piece down against with Tan here. And also king c5, king f1. What the plans? Or maybe by king e1, threatening the rooks here. So this is a forced by proactive. Rook captured pawn. Okay, with threatening the bishop. Oh, threatening the bishop and threats the pawns. So this is a more threats here. And also bishop backwards f7, king d4 defends the pawns, rook f5. Okay, rook f5. So it means so rook f5. Okay, rook f5 here by Tan Zhongyi. So it means so if you rook captured here, okay. So if you rook captured, if you rook takes h6 here and also king to e3. Okay, king e3. So it means king e3 here. So this is a more of this one with good examples. So rook f5 here with Tan Zhongyi, king e3, good move against with Zhu Jiner. So look at the evolution bar, perfect highest here. King g1 by Tan, rook g2 check. Oh, rook g2 check. So this is a more controls here. So why? So it means, so if you move by king e3, so king e3 without next of this one with more of this one with rook f2 with check. So this is a check here. So king g1, rook g2 check, king h1, and also rook backwards g5 challenged by rook to rook, avoided by rook f6. So it means, so if you rook captured accepted, so it means this is a capture there, because this is a upcoming by promotes the queen, so easy wins for black. So this is a martial pawns here, so 5 connected pass pawn here, so 5 connected versus 1 pawns, and bishop only here. So rook f6 here by this one by Tan Zhongyi together with attacks the pawns here. So this is a more attacks, so threatening the pawns and threats the pawns. So this is the pawns with threatening the check here. King f2, okay, oh, king f2 with Zhu, very strong move. Together by next maneuver, next move of rook g1 with check, without check here. So this is a more controls with check. Rook captured here with check, and also e3. Oh, very strong move with Zhu. So with the next up pawns and promotes the queens here. So this is a very promotes here. Rook h2 check, and the last move rook g2 together with threatening the rook. So resigns by GM Tan Zhongyi. So why she resigns? So if you rook captured here, only move with accepted with check, and also captured with check here, king h2, and also g1 queen with check, king h3, and with last of queen g3 mating net. End of this battle here, game over from whites here. So it means Tan Zhongyi is a failure here, falls down here. So it means, so last round number 1 with accepted withdrawal. So it means today's round number 8. So the score Zhu Jiner 1.5 and Tan Zhongyi 0.5 here. So it means so the wins with round number 8 GM Zhu Jiner. Okay, so let's see of this one with final results here after standings after round number 8 here. Okay, so the score with first place by 4.5 by first place by Grandmaster Divya Deshmukh with the scores of 4.5 here. And second by Vaishali Ramesh Babu, the little brother of Pragnananda. And third by Anna Musichuk by Grandmaster in Ukraine. And Grandmaster Zhu Jiner, so it means 4th placer here. And the 5th by Grandmaster Katarina Lagno in Russia. And 3.5 points by Grandmaster in Russia is Alexander Gorshkina, and 7th placer by Grandmaster Bibi Sarasabayeva, and 2.5 by last of this one with 8 with Tan Zhongyi Grandmaster here. Okay, so the next of round number 9, so between with 2 games analyzed here. So it means with first with Opens Candidates Grandmaster Fabi versus Anish Giri here. And next by this one with chooses with Grandmaster Zhu Jiner versus Grandmaster Katarina Lagno here. Okay, so I hope this part of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mark Loge17, aka IconMark17. Have a good day, keep safe, and keep updates of these next chess updates. Bye bye.